Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome back to DCTV, where I am your host, Drew Collins, bringing you the very best sports infotainment news you'll find here in the greater Cincinnati area, covering all Cincinnati news, especially the beloved Houday Bengals. If you're new around here, smash that subscribe button. We're on hashtag road to 3,000 subs, or 3K, and we're doing a jersey giveaway around here. So once the Bengals release the new stripes, their new jerseys before the season, which should be any day now, you're going to be entered into a giveaway to win one for free of a player of your choosing. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, and yeah, we'll do that. If you enjoy yourself, hit that like button. And if you want to see Ryan Kerrigan on the Cincinnati Bengals wearing those beautiful, beautiful new stripes, go ahead and smash that like button as well. You see the title of today's stream. I'm basically going to be informing Houday Nation, who is Ryan Kerrigan? What does Ryan Kerrigan bring to Cincinnati? And what really does this mean? Is this game-changing? Is this night and day? What can this do for the Cincinnati Bengals? I'm just going to... All right, so let's get into things. So Ryan Kerrigan, he has 95.5 career sacks. He is an all-time Washington football team, former Washington Redskin. Since 2011, he's played there till today. He is kind of like the Cincinnati Bengals' Carlos Dunlap. Sack leader, played there his entire career up into this season. That is what Ryan Kerrigan's been for them. He played linebacker, he played defensive end. You can really move him around. He has great football IQ. He's one of the smartest guys on the defensive side of the ball. That's why he's still doing good production at 32 years of age. Yeah, in his entire career, 95.5 career sacks, 454 tackles, 25 pass deflections, 26 forced fumbles, 4 fumble recoveries. I mean, this guy is just a walking stat machine for Washington. And he still has some gas in the tank. Now, I think if you want to make that Carlos Dunlap Ryan Kerrigan, I think he definitely has more gas in the tank than Carlos Dunlap, and we'll get into for all that stuff and why I may believe that. 1 second. Let's see. If you haven't already, smash that like button if you really want to see Ryan Kerrigan. And one thing I also forgot to say, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you're here live, let me know what you think live. But post-production, especially when this video goes up, let me know in the comment section. Do you really want him? Do you just, it's okay if we get him? Or are you just not a fan? And if you do, make sure you elaborate on yourself on why why that might be. Let's get into it. So like I said, last season in 2020, Ryan Kerrigan, I don't think he played a full season. He might have dealt with some injuries. Let me see here. But, I mean, he still had over 5 sacks, which if he would have been a Cincinnati Bengal, that would have been second or third on the team. Just how poor the stats were last season. So 2020, obviously he wears number 91, so we'll see if he'll bring that over to Cincinnati as well. Oh, and the whole main point of this is because he's visiting Cincinnati. I entirely missed that. I mean, I kind of assumed you read the title, but if you're a little confused, why are we talking about him? Is because he's set to visit Cincinnati, I believe today or tomorrow. So if the Bengals are really to make moves and put a move on this guy, he should be signing today or tomorrow, maybe latest by Friday if he's really going to be a Bengal. If he has a steak at Jeff Ruby's, a little cigar, and sits down at the table with Joe Burrow, he should be wearing stripes next season. Anyway, let's get into some of his stats. So in 2020, at 31 and 32 years old, it looks like he did play 16 games, which, that's good. He had 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery, 5.5 sacks, 17 combined tackles, and that's about it. So, with how dominant Washington's front 7 is, it's really hard for this guy to get playing time now that he's 32 years old. He's still a mentor for all those young guys, which is a huge, huge reason why I want him to be a Cincinnati Bengal, because he has so much football IQ that he's going to be able to tell all of our, younger guys, linebackers and defensive linemen, which we have probably the youngest linebacker core in the NFL. He's going to be able to mentor these guys and lead a future for them. So yes, he might not be the most, outstanding signing the Bengals can get, but think about what this guy can do for our young guys. Keem Davis Gathers, Logan Wilson. Sam Hubbard. You brought in Trey Hendrickson. You're going to be able to have him as another veteran. The guys that we drafted in the last draft of the defensive end. What's his name? The kid out of Notre Dame. Oh, this is going to tear me apart. Who's the kid out of Notre Dame, the defensive end? He played somewhat. I'm going to have to get his name right now. Khalid Kareem, thank you. Marcus Bailey, he's going to be able to mentor our young guys, which we have probably the youngest linebacker core in the league, if not one of them. And our defensive end, our defensive line outside of Sam Hubbard and, outside of 2 starters, they're young too. And he's going to be able to come in and he's going to be a beast. I mean, he's just going to be able to be a locker room guy and is going to be able to come in and mentor these guys. Hey, man, don't do that, do that, do this. Kind of like when Terrence Newman left Cincinnati and went back to Mike Zimmer, but it was in Minnesota this time around. And the guy was 39 years old, but he still was on the organization roster. Because why? Because he was mentoring those corners. He helped Xavier Rhodes become what he was today. And a whole bunch of Mackenzie Alexander, he mentored him. Trey Waynes, who's also on our team. Those 2 guys were in Minnesota before Cincinnati. He was able to mentor these guys, and that's exactly why Mike Zimmer wanted him on his team. Not because his stats were amazing at 39 years old, but because he can help mentor the young core. It's just the smartest move. 2019, so that was last season at defensive end. 2019 looks like his starting spot was right outside linebacker. And let me tell you, he's played right defensive end, he's played left end defensive end, he's played left outside linebacker, and right side outside linebacker. So if you need a guy, if someone goes down, someone gets hurt, this is more depth. What have we been talking about on this channel for the past week? Depth. You gotta have, if you're gonna have a season, if you're gonna have an organization that's gonna compete with teams, you gotta have depth and you gotta have leadership, and that is the 2 things that Ryan Kerrigan brings to his team. Nonetheless, right outside linebacker in 2019, he played 12 games, so it looks like he was out for a month. A pass deflection, a forced fumble, and another 5.5 sacks. So in the past 2 seasons, he has 10+ sacks. Outside of Carl Lawson, which I believe Carl Lawson had 5.5 or 6.5 sacks this season. I know he was second in the league with pass rushes or QB hurries, which is huge. But this guy's getting to the quarterback and wrapping up the quarterback. 2018, Pro Bowl. 2017, Pro Bowl. 2016, Pro Bowl. Back-to-back Pro Bowlers. Played all 16 games in these 3 seasons. 2018... pass deflection, 3 forced fumbles, 13 sacks, 43 combined tackles. What else do you want? 11 tackle for losses. 9 tackle for losses in 2019. 8 tackle for losses in 2020, along with the 5.5 sacks. What else do you want out of this guy? He's doing this in his 30s. 2017, 16 games. He had an interception, a pass deflection, 3 forced fumbles, 13 sacks, 46 combined tackles, 15 tackle for losses, 17 QB hits, 19 QB hits in 2018. 2016, another Pro Bowl season, another full season, 16 games, 2 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, 11 sacks, 33 combined tackles, 18 tackle for losses. I don't think we have a Bengals player that got 18 tackle for losses in 2 to 3 seasons combined. I know this isn't still him. This is him in his prime. I'm aware of that. But it just tells you his football IQ. And over the seasons, yes, they've dropped a little bit because of his age and also the team that's been built around him that's kind of, taking his spot. You got to think that they have 6 or 7 first-round draft picks in that front 7. So there's a lot of competition for him in Washington. Which, yes, also does help him. I am aware of that. 2015, he also played right outside linebacker, another 16 games, full season. All the other seasons he played, his first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think his first 7 seasons in the NFL, he didn't miss a single game, according to PFF. 9.5 sacks, 42 tackles, 13 QB hits. 2014, 13.5 sacks, 64 tackles, 19 QB hits. This is at left side linebacker. So once again, he changes position again. Another season, 8.5 sacks, 66 tackles, 15 tackle for losses. 2012, another Pro Bowl season, 8.5 sacks, 54 combined tackles, 10 tackle for losses. Another pick. And then his rookie season in 2011, he was drafted as a right defensive end. So he changed his position again, or I guess it's the position he came in at. 7.5 sacks, 64 combined tackles, 14 QB hits. Yes, I know the guy's not in his prime anymore. He's 32, but 32 is not even that old. For a guy that can be able to come to the line or be able to drop back in coverage, can be a linebacker guy, this is huge. I want to go ahead and look at his size for people that might be asking, like, oh, he's too slow. Oh, he's this, he's that. The guy is 6'4", 265. That is great size to be able to drop on the line and be a speed guy or be on line, but then drop back in coverage. That's just immaculate right there. 6'4", 265. That's just great right there by Ryan Kerrigan. So what does this mean for the Cincinnati Bengals? Well, I think I think Houday Nation need to realize the Bengals are trying. This is the most move they've made in free agency probably my entire life. I've had a lot of you guys commenting, a lot of older of you Bengals fans. Hey, I appreciate you guys tuning into a youngin' like me. But I've seen a lot of you guys in the comment section on a lot of my recent videos like, I don't know why there's so much hate. I'm loving this because the Bengals are doing more moves than the rest of my entire 30, 40 years of my life. I've never seen them to be this active in free agency. So I want to give a shout out for you long-term Bengals fans at, 20, 30, 40, 50 plus years old. You guys are the real ones, all right? And we respect what you say. So please get active in the comment section. I know you guys have a lot of knowledge, and I would love to soak some of that up. But yeah, this is crazy. If they're picking up superstars, if they're picking up depth guys, it doesn't matter. They're making moves to succeed in a really tough division in the AFC North. It's a tough division. 3 out of the 4 teams made the playoffs last season. It's probably going to be like that again this season. Hopefully we're one of them. But you just have to realize the Bengals organization is competing. They're going to get guys they think can make big moves. Frank Pollock is bringing in guys that he knows is going to be able to change that offensive line as he's offensive line coach again. He's going to get guys that he thinks can protect Burrow. Defensively, #fire Lou. Lou is bringing in guys that he thinks he can come in and save his job. So these guys are bringing in guys that are going to be able to make impacts. If it's on the field and or off the field, they're going to be able to bring something to the Bengals locker room that's going to be positive. I'm a huge, huge fan of that. I'm not sitting here saying Ryan Kerrigan is going to start over Trey Hendrickson and get 10, 15 sacks. That's not what I'm saying. He's a guy that's going to be able to come in, get probably at least 3 sacks, a couple tackle for losses, and it seems like he's a beast at that. Get some pressure on the quarterback and the running back, and just be able to teach our young guys. I named them all earlier. This is huge. We don't have that guy in our defensive line or our linebacker core that's 30 plus. That's had a Hall of Fame career. You know what I mean? This guy is definitely a Hall of Famer, at least for Washington. He's their sack leader of all time. So we don't have a guy like that. We had Carlos Dunlap, but he didn't buy into the locker room. We had Geno Atkins, but he was never healthy. We have Ryan Kerrigan, and he's going to be healthy and ready to teach some of our guys. That's huge. What should you expect? Just like I said, decent stats, but a guy who's going to be able to help on and off the field. Contract-wise, I'm honestly not too sure. I would assume this is going to be a little bit more expensive. If I had to assume this is going to be another 1-year deal, a guy who's going to have to take a 1-year deal because of the contract situation with COVID, the salary cap being down, it'll raise back next season, and next season the guys will be able to get paid more because of it. If he signs a 2-3-year deal and it retires in Cincinnati, hey, man, I think I'm pretty cool with it as long as it's not too expensive, as long as the Bengals don't overpay. But look for like a 1-year deal, anywhere from probably $2 to $7 million in that range, probably on the lesser side. A 1-year deal, if not, maybe a 2 or 3-year deal on the cheaper side as well. That's what I would assume. If you guys have any questions about Ryan Kerrigan, put it in the chat or put it in the comment section. Let me know your guys' thoughts. And like I said, he's a former or I don't think I actually said this. He's a former round 1 pick, pick 16. So this guy his whole career, and he's panned out to be a great one. He's their sack total in their entire organization. So he's actually panned out to be a good choice. Like, if you guys are in here live or post-production, smash that like button for good luck for Ryan Kerrigan joining this team. This is bigger news than Nick Eason. I think Nick Eason is just exciting signing or possible visit because, he's going to be able to come in and protect Burrow. He might not even start. He might be a bench guy, but that's still exciting that they're bringing in guys to protect Burrow. This, to me, is a little bit more exciting because, one, I didn't see it until I woke up at around 8 in the morning, and I saw Ryan Kerrigan visiting the Cincinnati Bengals, and I was like, really? That's very interesting. I saw nothing before it the entire rest of the free agency, and I kind of dug into it, like, why would they bring in this guy? And now I look into it, it just makes so much sense. to mentor our young linebackers and defensive line guys, and to even produce on the field. Like, he obviously has shown he still can. So I don't know if there's a day where he is visiting, but I'm gonna assume it's sometime this week, and hopefully he signs by Friday. That would be my guess. Let me know your guys' thoughts. What did we say in the chat? Um, If he would, okay, so Clip says if he was in the Bengals last, or on the Bengals last year's PFF on the line, he would be second on the team. So all you people that were dogging Nick Easton and all these Quentin Spain, all these guys, oh, their PFF is the worst. Oh, it's so bad. PFF, these guys are terrible. They're not even better than the players we have. Shut up. This guy can play football. He has football IQ. And there you go. There's a PFF stat for you via my chat here live that he would have the second best PFF rating on the Bengals defensive line last season. Don't quote me if that's wrong. I'm just taking it from one of you guys. I hope you're right. And if you are, thank you for that beautiful stat. I'm always looking in stats for my streams if you guys can pull those for me. But yeah, for you PFF crybabies that are out like, oh, his PFF is terrible. And FYI, Nick Easton's PFF was so bad was because of his injuries. So be quiet. And also, we're not expecting him to be a stud. We're expecting him to be a good depth A+, you know, an A+ backup guy that can come in and play 3 positions out of the 5. Sorry, I had to get that out the way. That was really frustrating. Not really YouTube people. It was more Facebook people. You know, I love my Facebook people that are out there and that are positive. But I'm in this Facebook group chat where I post all my links and I ask them their thoughts, which I respect all your thoughts. Don't get me wrong. But it was just so frustrating. It was like PFF this, PFF that. Whatever. What are we saying? What are we saying? Uh, Yeah, he was a rotational piece with Chase Young. Exactly. That Washington front is probably the best in the National Football League. So this guy wasn't seeing as many snaps as he has in his past, in his prime, which obviously is good for him. He doesn't have to wear his body out as much. But a lot of people don't see the production go down like, whoa, this guy's way too old. This guy's way too old. Not technically. 32 is not that old. We saw a 33-year-old Carlos Dunlap go to the Seattle Seahawks and produce, get a bunch of sacks for them in the playoffs. Congrats to him. I mean, we know these guys, they aren't just too old. The guys are old, man. Yeah, I'm so tired of hearing that he's too old BS. What about Riley Reef? We just signed Riley Reef. Riley Reef is older than this guy. Are you going to say that Riley Reef is too old? What about Tom Brady? Is he too old? Stop pulling this too old crap. It's really frustrating, man. Frank, if you're gonna dog on a player, pull something else in the it's too old card. You know what I mean? He would fit well with Hendrickson too. Yeah, man. I mean, these guys are gonna pair well. He's gonna be a rotational piece, and he's gonna be able to fit in the linebacker. It looks like he was more of a defensive end last season, but he can still drop back if need be. I mean, this is just a guy with a lot of football smarts, a lot of football IQ. He's going to be able to tell a guy where these young guys, which we saw a lot of times last season, get burnt because, the opposing offense doesn't audible and the receiver goes flying behind the linebacking core open for a 20-plus yard gain. Ryan Kerrigan picks up that stuff. So if he's on the field, hey, Akeem, move over to the left, pick up the receiver. He's coming over a slant. Or hey, Logan Wilson, hey, man, don't blitz no more. They're coming back. They're going 4 verts. That's huge to have somebody on the roster that can do that. Obviously, Jesse Bates and Von Bell can do that, but they're safeties. We need a linebacker to be able to jump that. We need a dog. I mean, I guess this position in high school would be called a dog, right? At least it did at my high school. A guy who's on the line, but also linebacker. A guy who just has some grit and has a lot of football IQ, probably the most on the team. That was the dog considered at my high school football team, and I guess this is what Kerrigan is really coming in to be, and I am super pumped. I hope you Bengals fans are too. Please, please, please don't be a Debbie Downer. Take this with, just be positive, man. This is the most moves I've seen the Bengals make in my entire freaking life, man. And I'm so pumped. I mean, this is really showing how much of a season this could be, how much effort they're putting into this before the draft is even started. We haven't even hit the draft yet. So you guys should be absolutely pumped. And I know like 95% of you Bengals fans are absolutely stoked about the free agency so far and are excited against the draft and the season to come, obviously. And I appreciate every single one of you. You guys are awesome. Keep destroying that like button. If you want to see him on the team, hit the subscribe button, win you a free jersey here soon. Oop, when I do that giveaway. We're almost at 2,100 subs already. So if you want to hit that, I appreciate it. Shout out to my man Buzz right here being a member. Tony, my all-time donator, Drake Berry, my recent donator, Charles, my recent subscriber. And if you haven't already, follow me on my socials, especially my Twitter. I've been getting really active on there. Good morning, LT. And I said good morning and good afternoon in the beginning of it. But once again, I hope everybody on here has a great Wednesday. Keep a lookout on potential moves and everything going on. Just stay woke. Hit the notification bell. I always forget to say that. You know, I say a lot of this stuff about my channel and about me, but hit that notification bell because if any breaking news happens, I will be going live almost as soon as possible as it releases. Hey, LT. Hey, Drake. 86, Joe, Mac, American Dream, BCG, all the people that are in the chat. What's up, man? Blessed. If you guys, have a blessed day. It's good seeing you guys all in here. I want Kyle Pitts or Chase says somebody. Hey, man, go to the mock draft I did last night. We did a mock draft. It was a lot of fun. It was with a lot of you guys. There was over, I think, 1,000 of you throughout the entire stream, and you guys helped me pick the first Bengals mock draft. So if you're interested in draft information, go watch that stream as of yesterday. BCG says, I want a veteran linebacker to help them and reach them, and that's what this exactly is. And Drake, I mean, we've been talking about this since early last season. We've been talking about we just need a veteran linebacker, and to be honest, we had a couple options, but the options weren't really they weren't really, I don't think, within reach for the Bengals. And I really never thought Ryan Kerrigan, because I just never thought the Bengals would go after that great of a caliber player. He's an all-time Washington guy. His whole career, his past 9 seasons are all with Washington. 95 sacks, 450 tackles, 3 interceptions, 25 pass deflections, 26 forced fumbles, 4 forced fumble recoveries. I thought this guy would retire as a football team, Washington football team, former Redskins. But yeah, I totally thought Ryan Kerrigan wasn't even on my radar of group of guys I looked into for the Bengals to bring in for a veteran linebacker, which is what I've been looking for since, I think, week 8 of last season. That middle of the week, I was just like, man, I love that we have some young studs out there at linebacker, and the future is definitely very, very bright. But as of right now, they just get so lost. And which is okay. You got to expect them to, as rookies playing as much as they do. They're going to get lost, and I can't be mad at them for that. But I also got to recognize that they need help. They need guys to help them, direct them, and mentor them what to do on this play, where to go in this zone, what about this coverage, when to do man-to-man, when to blitz. They just were lost on a lot of these plays, and they were getting smoked, which is okay. I mean, you expect them to. They throw them into the fire, and they start them to play as well, because that's the only way they're going to get better. And this is exactly what it is. And to be honest, I would have never guessed Ryan Kerrigan. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I called it, Ryan Kerrigan to the Bengals. I never saw it. It was a complete blindside to me in a good way, because I just never thought the Bengals would go after a player like Ryan Kerrigan. I always thought it would be someone that would be 3rd, 4th, 5th string, a 38-year-old linebacker that, obviously his days are behind him. His days are numbered. But that is the complete opposite of Ryan Kerrigan. The complete opposite. So those are my thoughts on that. Kyle said, when are they releasing the jerseys? There's no date yet, man. They've not set a date, but it should be within the next few weeks. I would assume before the draft. But it could be any day. Excuse my language. Something very frustrating just happened. There's a little airdrop on live air for you. I've been live for like 15 hours this past week. I dropped it. Career's over. What are we saying in chat? Did we talk about Mel Kiper's mock? We didn't. I mean, I talked about it a little bit. I didn't make a full stream about it. You can kind of get a good feeling about how I feel about it if you watched the mock draft yesterday. I didn't really consider Mel Kiper, although I was aware of it and thought it was very, very interesting. Yeah, I personally wouldn't. I wouldn't take anybody if Sewell is or Sewell if Panay is there at 5, I'm taking Panay. But if he wasn't, he let him drop all the way to the Vikings, which I don't think will happen. But if it did, he's my number one. Chase or Pitts is my number 2, and Chase is my number 3. And if you want to know why, just go watch yesterday. DC's mock draft was cool to watch. My first time paying attention all offseason, and it's surprisingly fun. Yeah, Stuart, it was really fun. And to be honest, like I said, that was my first ever mock draft. And, I didn't really know what I was doing. And you guys really carried me through that. But that is why I wanted to do it with you guys, because I knew you guys would have some valuable input on it. Not only are they making moves, but they're quality moves. Exactly. Eli Apple is not a superstar, but he's going to come in and play depth for the Bengals. Now you have Kerrigan come in, and he's going to be obviously more valuable, but he's going to be able to play. Looks like breaking news. Ndamukong Suh is going to be returning to the Bucks. It looks like on a 1-year deal. So the Bucks are just re-signing every single person possible. Robbie said this free agency is making me hype for the season. I think it's making every Bengals fan hype, man. I mean, we really can't ask for more besides a good draft class, which we're hoping upon, but. It just frustrates me, like probably the 5 out of the 95% hyped up Bengals fan, the 5% Bengals fans. It just irritates me so much that they're just like, oh, what are these moves? These guys are terrible. They're bringing in bums. It's like they're bringing in depth. They're bringing in leadership. They're bringing in locker room guys. The Bengals, I don't think people understand. They're a low market team. They don't have calories. They don't have money like the Dallas Cowboys. The New York Giants, they don't have money like those guys, so they're making valuable decisions to come in and compete, and that's really all I can ask for. And I am stoked for it. And if you are too, smash that like button, man. I mean, this is just great news. Someone said, I feel like the Bengals are going to hit us with the April Fool's joke on the jerseys before showing the real ones. That's a great point. I'll keep that in mind, because that actually might be true. That's something their social media team might do. Yeah, I never saw Kerrigan coming at all. Honestly, like I said, the past season I talked about, hey man, we need some veteran linebackers. I mean, our young guys are just lost out there. They got thrown out to the fire right outside the draft, and it was obvious that, I don't want to say they weren't prepared, but it was obvious that they're very raw, and they need some leadership role. And obviously, Carlos Dunlap wasn't there. He wasn't even thrilled with the situation is. He wasn't helping nobody. Gino really wasn't helping nobody because he couldn't stay healthy, and he wasn't really doing nothing, and he can't help with linebacker coverage. And it was like Carl Lawson, yeah, but he's kind of just doing his thing. And it was just like, safeties, but they're the safety guys, and it's just like we need somebody. And we've named a couple guys in the past off season that like I think it was Matt Milano was one of them, like a couple guys that just weren't too great. And Ryan Kerrigan was never on my radar just because I would have never thought the Bengals would go after a caliber player like this, to be completely honest. I hope it's not the ones that leaked. I can't agree with you on that one, Kyle. Brandon said Ryan would be an absolute blessing to add to the Bengals roster. And exactly, man. I mean, he's a I mean, this is a high-class football player. Someone who so far has spent his entire career with the organization, leads them in sacks and all this other stuff, who's never really had any off-field issues that I've known about. High football IQ, a guy who goes out there, puts everything on the field. He has some awesome sack celebrations. If you've never seen him, go watch his sack celebrations. I mean, this is just exactly what the Bengals needed. Hey, Clips, if you want to change it back to Liam, man, I'll notice you. I promise. You might just have to keep reminding me a couple of times, but you're good. He and Logan Wilson are a lot alike when it comes to the style of play. They're both stupid smart and methodical. I was hyped when I saw the rap sheet post. It was I need to let the fam know. I was like, I need to let the fam know. Yeah. Shout out to Drake. I saw it on Twitter too, but he was the first one to put it in the Discord. So shout out to Drake. Join the Discord if you haven't already. Group chat of over 100 plus Bengals fans. All we do is talk Bengals news, and you'll be the first ones to see breaking news because people like Drake put it in there as soon as it gets released. This is via Ian Rappaport, so it is confirmed. Like, it's not a shady, oh, we think he's coming. There's rumored. No, this is in fact that he is visiting Cincinnati Bengals. So this is legit. Any worries, Ian Rappaport, it's legit. I'm gonna take a few more questions and I'm gonna head up out of here, guys. I got classes all day long and I got to get to those. So I'll take a few more questions about Ryan Kerrigan or the free agency in general, and I'm gonna head up out of here. Do you think we still need a big name receiver, says Kevin? No, I never thought we needed another big name receiver. I thought we needed someone that can come in and be a depth guy, that can be a receiver 3 or 4, and then, be able to draft somebody that's going to catch a ball like a tight end or a receiver, Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase. I never thought we needed to spend a lot of money in the receiver position. But yeah, I had my eyes set on Josh Reynolds a few days ago. He was, Zach Taylor was his former receiver coach in LA. Didn't happen. Pretty disappointed about that. It would have been a cheap deal. Obviously, Kenny Golladay took the money, got the bag in New York. I don't think we need a big signing for a receiver. I think a guy that can come in and be a depth guy. I think that's really all we need. And then address it in the draft, obviously. Now, if they decide they're not going to address it in the draft, yeah, you might want to sign a pretty big name receiver free agent. But I think the Bengals, that's going to be one of the positions they get in the draft. If it's Kyle Pitts, who's going to be able to play receiver as well as tight end, not just tight end, who played over 30% of his snaps last season as a receiver. I think we're going to, like Bill Belichick calls him, he calls it pass catchers, which is his tight ends and his receivers. I'm going to call it pass catchers. If the Bengals decide they're not going to draft any pass catchers, then yes, they need to sign somebody. But if the Bengals, which I think they will draft some pass catchers, then, I think then we could sign somebody. And for the person that said Sammy Watkins, I highly doubt it, man. He's meeting with the Ravens this week, and the Ravens are quite desperate for some receiver help for Lamar Jackson. And I think he's meeting with another team. I think it was the Houston Texans also this week. But if he walks out of Baltimore with no contract, shoot, man, he might end up becoming a Cincinnati Bengal. I'd be really surprised if he did, though. Ryan Kerrigan is visiting today. Kerrigan has 10 more sacks than Geno with 1 year less of play time. Just a random little fact. Shout out to you. Thank you for the fact. Really appreciative. Exactly. Auden Tate, Clip says Auden Tate is honestly a really good 3 if we draft Pitts. Exactly. I think we need to add a little bit more speed to our receiver. Obviously John Ross wasn't a big part, but he was able to stretch the field when he was on the field because he was so speedy quick. And then obviously we lose the AJ Green snaps, which was always from basically wide. So I think we need a speedy guy because you got Auden Tate, which apparently everybody's forgotten about Auden Tate. Screw Auden Tate. Watkins is better, right? I totally disagree with anybody who wants to go toe-to-toe in that argument. Just remember how injury bug of a season it was with Auden Tate last season. I'm not saying we still don't need to address it. We do. I do agree with you upon that. But I'm not in panic mode like a lot of these Bengals fans are. We have receivers, but yes, we should add another rotational guy in there. But you can do that in the draft or do that with, a moderate free agent signing. I don't want all my money spent in my receiver core on somebody who's, just going to be at best above average. Yeah, Sammy Watkins with the Colts today, says KBA. So Sammy Watkins is a very busy man right now, meeting with a lot of different teams before he meets with Cincinnati. So if he does meet with Cincinnati. Brandon says, I want one more free agency O-line signing and take Pitts at 5. Hey, Brendan, you're almost spot on with me right now, man. You saw my draft yesterday. I took Pitts, but because Panay was taken ahead of time, I've taken Pitts over Chase. You want to know why? I state many reasons why. In the first 20 minutes, it starts at 20 minutes. There's a timestamp on the comment section if you want to go watch it. 20 minutes to 30 minutes. I make a big case why. Obviously, it's okay to disagree with me, but you're going to have Boyd who's going to want us to line up in the slot. Obviously, he can line up on the outside, but he's better in the slot. You're going to have T. Higgins on the outside, and then Auden Tate also on the outside. They'd also be able to add some speed in there as well. A guy who's not too small, but a guy who's not, pretty decent size, but a speedy guy that can come in there and line up on the outside as well, or rotate with Boyd in the slot, and then Boyd can go on the outside some plays as well. So, yeah, it looks like Ndamukong Suh back to the Buccaneers, 1 year deal, $9 million. I don't know how the Buccaneers salary cap is a myth, man. I don't know how they re-signed every single freaking amazing player back to that team. That blows my mind. But yeah, nonetheless, any last thing? Should we resign Tyler Eifert? Nada. I like Tyler Eifert, man. That guy had so much potential. Top 5 tight end of the league at some point, but I've just never seen a player have so many injuries, so many nasty injuries in a career. I mean, all his injuries, his dislocated elbow, the ankle, the leg. I mean, that guy just had so many bad injuries. You know, I hope for the best of Tyler Eifert. I just don't think he really fits our team right now and our scheme. Luke says, I can't miss your. I'm at lunch, but I can't miss your stream. Hey, shout out Luke, man. Do your thing. Timmy Watkins would have been a fun addition. He would have. I'm not saying he's not, but I just don't think it's quite realistic, and I don't think it's our biggest need. Should the Bengals reach out to Trey Turner? Can we afford him? Yes, and yes, the Bengals can afford him, even if they sign Ryan Kerrigan. He wouldn't be an expensive deal because he had a down year last season. And yes, they should reach out to him. They've reached out to Nick Easton. That's confirmed. We're still waiting on an update on that. But yes, they should reach out to Trey Turner because he is the better player of the two. I'm still on my Tamarian Terry train. For a receiver, has a lot of speed, a real deep threat, the size of 6'4". Check out his film sometime. I will. Yeah, I mean, a deep threat is really what this receiver core needs. If the receiver's not a deep threat, I don't think I want him. I think it would be I think that's just what this offense needs. You know, obviously T. Higgins made some down the field plays, which obviously he came with his size, and he's pretty quick, decent route running. But we just need a really speedy guy. Yeah, I mean, this guy looks good. 6'4", 209. I'll definitely keep this up on my computer screen and do some research. Any last comments before I head up out of here, guys? Smash that like button for me if there's one thing you can do. I can really appreciate it. Get this stream to 50 likes. If it hits 50 likes and it's post-production, get it to 100 likes, man. I appreciate all the support. I very much do. Smash that subscribe button. Enter that free Bengals jersey giveaway. Get active in the comment section. Do you want Ryan Kerrigan in stripes next season? You do? Okay, why? You don't? Okay, why? I want to know what you guys think. But I'm going to head up out of here. I know you guys are naming some more receivers. And we will talk more draft to come. And we talked about it yesterday, but we will talk more draft for sure. Do we know any teams that we play this upcoming season that are threats? Yeah, our whole division made the playoffs last season. Let's start there. And we also play the Chiefs. So, hey, you guys have a great rest of your Wednesday, man. You know, stay positive, work hard, stay focused, and just hit your goals today. I hope you guys have a great Wednesday. Cincinnati, man, it looks like we're gonna have some decent weather today. It's not raining yet. We might have some showers. But yeah, everyone have a fantastic day today, man. Join the Discord link in the description. Join the DST family. That's all I got for you. As always, stay true, and Hoo Day, baby.